Hi guys, so this time we have a new video. It will be kinda different from what we are used to see on this channel. This is not a watch review, but still we will be reviewing something different. I decided to continue the line or the series of the videos about the cars. This one will be dedicated to the servicing, or let's say small update of my X3 from BMW, and of course we will go through what was done, why it was done, and what surprises occurred. I plan to do such reports from time to time. It will be also not only the classic service, which will be mainly just a classic maintenance, but also maybe some upgrades in order to improve the car, because it's still kind of old car and it will be interesting to tune it a bit. And also there will be some different vehicles as well, I hope, so it will be interesting journey. So let's start with X3. So the main idea was to upgrade the front shock dampers, because one of them burst, and during driving on the highway, well, it's still drivable, it was drivable, but obviously it's not cool to ride around when you have the clunking sound from your left wheel arch, the front one, so that's why I decided to upgrade it a bit. And first idea was to get the Bilstein B6, but the pricing was kinda off, I would say, for a SUV, so I decided to go with a B4, and in my opinion it's more or less a decent choice for everyday use. It will be also interesting to see how long they will serve. So the first step was to actually install those things on the front. As you can notice, it was also an idea to upgrade the front brakes at the same time, because, well, we basically disassembled the whole front suspension and it will be a good thing to upgrade the brakes. I was feeling a slight beating in the steering wheel, so it was I was expecting the front brakes, but turned out that they're completely new, and as you can see on the video, they were changed relatively recently, and well, there is no point in changing them at this moment. For checking the overall condition, I used the special machine, which actually measures the overall thickness of the brake disc, so it should be equal on all the sides. And as you can see on the video, it was basically equal. It was the new brake without any edges, without any wear and tear. The same can be said about brake pads. So the ventilated brakes, which I got from Zimmermann, they will wait for the next chance. And for now I will be using what I have on the front, even though they're quite dusty, so when you brake a lot you can see it on the front wheels. But in my opinion this is a common issue with all of the Beamers, and this is something you cannot avoid. So next step was actually to disassemble the suspension. It wasn't difficult. All of the screws were actually in a good condition, so it's just a matter of several minutes and both shock dampers were out. And of course, when you change the front shock dampers, it's a good idea to change the springs as well. I decided to do so even though it's clearer than when you change such stuff. You will have the nose a bit higher because the new springs will actually lift it a bit and you have the rear worn down. But I plan to upgrade the rear as well. We will talk about it a bit later. And for now it will be slightly tilted on the front, but I don't consider it a huge problem. As you can notice, the springs, they are also coming from Bilstein, so I decided to use the same brand. And the dust sleeves are actually coming from a different brand. I also changed the shock mounts as well, so that everything will be fresh. And actually the left one was heavily worn. I didn't know why, because the right side was completely fine. It could go for I would say 1 year at least. But well, it's better to change both sides, so that's why both were actually upgraded. And as you can see, it wasn't that easy to compress the springs. We actually first used the classic clamps and it wasn't going through, so it was decided to use the pneumatic machine, which actually achieved it in a bit easier way. The main problem was that, we were assembling the springs, we were assembling the shock dampers, but then we forgot about the dust sleeves, so it was added later, but you had to compress the spring, then to decompress it again, and it's not such a pleasant experience, and we actually managed to do this for both shock dampers, so it's something to remember in the future, I would say. So installation was quite easy, you can see it on the video, and well, you just have to catch it from the top, because when you install it in the mounts you have to also attach the 3 screws from the top, but it's also not that difficult task if you have some extra hands. And well, next, because we were not changing the brakes, but my initial plan was actually to paint the brake calipers, because they are kind of rusty. It doesn't look good because I have 5-spoke wheels on the X3, and that's why I decided to get the paint and do a little upgrade, which will also conserve it from the possible rust. In my opinion, it's quite decent upgrade, and I picked the paint which is not that bright. It does not jump out from the overall appearance, and it looks sleek in my opinion. You can see the final result in the end of this video. it comes from German manufacturer, so you get the paint, you get also the additive which you mix with the paint, and then you get it to dry a bit faster. All paint is applied with help of the brush, and there is also the special metal brush which will help you to clean the rust of the calipers. Obviously I recommend something more heavy duty. As you can see, we used the special metal brush on the screwdriver. It actually achieves a better result, and you can see a lot of dust was actually there, so it's a good maintenance, and now it should be a better conserved with help of this paint, obviously. And I would admit the initial plan was actually to get the two front calipers, but looking at the amount of the paint stain there, it wasn't like decent idea to leave it and to leave it to dry, because we all know once you open the paint it will be gone. So that's why it was decided also to clean up and paint the rear brake calipers, and it turned out quite good because both brakes are quite large and it's visible on the vehicle, and it doesn't look cheap in my opinion, because it's kind of similar to M cover which is used on the M packages on modern BMWs. So the whole assembly was finished in around 4 or 5 hours. We just were taking a lot of breaks as well, but well, it is a completely different experience, because now you get the fresh front, which is a bit more easier and more eager to steer, I would say. Now it will be, as I said in the beginning of the video, a good idea to upgrade the rear suspension as well, because well, it gets worn down as well, and X3 actually has this small flaw that the rear suspension is really weak. You can also get the rear spring brake, and it's a good idea to actually do the preventative measure and to upgrade all of these parts in advance. So in the next video I will try to do this, maybe also some minor fixes on the engine, because there are some minor tweaks. And of course it would be a good idea to talk about the X3 overall, because this is old vehicle, but it's SUV which might be worth your attention, so I think it's worth shooting the small telltale video which will show you more good sides of the X3. And of course I thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to press the like, and I will see you in the next video as usual. Thank you and bye.